The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Happening now at 10, covering the entire DMV and beyond. Sights and sounds of a nation under attack. Tonight, Israel defending itself against Palestinian militants.
The world is watching.
The president's promise to support the country now at war, and local leaders on how America is stepping up. Back here at home, a city in crisis. 5 people shot overnight in Northeast D.C. What investigators know about the city's 10th mass shooting this year. And saving money on your next meal. How you can cash in on rewards at grocery stores and restaurants. Plus a new way to play, how a high-tech football helmet is changing the game for one D.C. football team.
And we're in for a cold night ahead with overnight lows into the 40s, but then looking ahead towards tomorrow, highs right around 60 with some sunshine as well. I'll have more details of the rest of that 7-day coming up in just a couple minutes.
Thank you, Jackie, and thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 10 o'clock on DCW 50. I'm Ben Dennis this Saturday evening. Happening now, the country of Israel is actively at war with Palestinian militants after a surprise attack overnight by a group known as Hamas. That group went on to kill and abduct hundreds of people, including civilians, all during a major Jewish holiday. Meantime, Israel's prime minister is vowing to, quote, inflict an unprecedented price on Hamas. This is when Hamas militants breached the Gaza Strip border today. Gunmen rolling into as many as 22 places, including towns. Israel retaliated. They leveled this tower in Gaza with a series of explosions there, the smoke billowing up in the sky. But the night sky in Israel illuminated by Hamas rockets headed toward the city of Tel Aviv. Sirens heard there as defense rockets intercepted many of them before they hit the ground. Rescue crews also working where one militant rocket had hit a building reduced to rubble you see right now into the dead of night. But eyes are now in Washington waiting for how the U.S. government plans to help Israel, now at war nearly 6,000 miles away. President Biden today vowing the nation's support at the White House.
Spoke with members of Congress, directed my national security team to engage with their Israeli counterparts, military to military, intelligence to intelligence, diplomat to diplomat, to make sure Israel has what it needs.
In D.C. today, the Israeli embassy appeared quiet outside in the Van Ness neighborhood. One man did stop there to pray. A Secret Service agent was stationed there this afternoon as well. And Maryland Senator Ben Cardin said this on X, formerly Twitter, saying he was mourning the loss of civilians, adding, as chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, I am committed to ensuring that Israel has what it needs to defend itself and its citizens today and every day. And Virginia Senator Mark Warner called the attack unprovoked and despicable. Warner chairs the Senate Intelligence Committee, adding his colleagues will continue to monitor that situation closely. It remains unknown exactly how Congress could step in to help Israel because the U.S. House is currently without a speaker. A vote for the next leader is slated for this week. And the Jewish community right now in the DMV tells us they're shaken up by this attack. Our Dave Laval joins us outside of the Rockville Jewish Community Center earlier today, but he even went outside of the Israeli embassy in Washington as well.
Things are quiet yet tense outside the Israeli embassy behind me. As for members of the local Jewish community, they're angry following Saturday's attack.
Well, it's horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying.
Alan Ronkin reacts to the latest attack against Israel. Sirens wailed across the nation Saturday as Hamas militants launched thousands of rockets into Israel. The death toll topped well over 200 early Saturday night, Eastern Standard Time.
We're angry, and it's just intolerable, completely intolerable.
Ronkin is the regional director of the American Jewish Committee. Following the attacks, President Biden offered his full support of Israel.
You've got to imagine what would happen in this country if thousands of people were killed on a given day by infiltrating terrorists, and what any country in the world would do to protect its citizens.
Israeli forces retaliated as they launched strikes into Gaza, where more than 200 people also died. A statement from the United States Council of Muslim Organizations said in part, quote, "The recent unprovoked and continuous attacks by Israel on Palestinian towns, cities, and refugee camps have resulted in tragic loss of Palestinian lives." The organization also expressed its support of the Palestinian people. Hamas also killed dozens of Israelis when they crossed into Israeli villages near the Gaza Strip.
I have good friends who were at a music festival last night down in a community called Re'im. All I can say was it was a massacre. It was a bloody massacre, and the fact that any of them got out alive was miraculous.
And again, Israel's prime minister announced Saturday his nation is at war. Outside the Israeli embassy, Dave Laval, DC News Now.
Thanks to Dave tonight in D.C. Turning to your weather now on D.C. News Now. A picture-perfect day. Can't categorize it any other way as we start the fall season, Jackie.
Exactly. And I mean, it felt like fall out there today when we're talking about high temperatures into the upper 60s for much of the region. We had that breeze through the day today as well, along with the sunshine, after we did start off with some rain showers earlier this morning. That was associated with that cold front that swept through. And that cold front certainly has ushered in more of that fall feel out there. And those temperatures are continuing to drop at this hour. Notice these temperatures right now. Already starting to notice those 40s in Kaiser and Lorain, even out towards some of our western zones, out towards Garrett County, already sliding back into the 40s. Now in the upper 40s in Martinsburg, we're low 50s in Hagerstown, upper 50s in D.C., 55 in Fredericksburg. We're into the mid-upper 50s in Annapolis and Lexington Park. Those overnight lows tonight, those will be falling back into the 40s for much of the region. Now, if we do drop into the upper 40s in D.C., that would be the coldest since May 6th. It's been quite some time since we've seen these temperatures, and certainly going to be one of those mornings where you want that jacket before you step out, or even that heavier sweater as well. As we get towards tomorrow afternoon, those temperatures will bounce back, upper 50s for some of our north and western zones. Then closer towards D.C. and areas south and east, we'll see those temperatures coming back into the low 60s. Going with a high of 63 for your Sunday in the district. Now, as we get towards the start of the work week, we'll see a gradual warming trend through the work week. But again, for our Sunday, certainly feeling like fall out there with those temperatures varying to the upper 50s to low 60s. I'll certainly have more details with the rest of that 7-day forecast coming up in just a couple minutes. Ben?
Thanks, Jackie. Developing right now out of Hyattsville, Maryland. You're looking at pictures of a scene where police say a serious motorcycle crash had happened. Officials say this happened on East-West Highway. The westbound side of the highway was shortly closed between Bellcrest Road and the entrance to the mall at Prince George's County. But that's now back open. We'll keep you updated when we learn more information. And a Fairfax County man has been arrested in Florida after allegedly stabbing his mother to death and going on the run yesterday. Officials say 27-year-old Jorge Rivera stabbed his mother at an apartment on Cardinal Forest Lane in Lorton. Police say that he took off in a car. He was then caught last night by Florida Highway Patrol. He's now in the process of being extradited back to Fairfax County. Court cases are pending. D.C. police say they're investigating a mass shooting that left 5 people hurt in Northeast. Officials say it happened around midnight on Quincy Place. 5 men were transported to local hospitals. Be sure to keep you updated on air and online as we learn more. And developing now in the district, D.C. police say an armed carjacking in Adams Morgan neighborhood was done by a group of children. It happened right by the National Zoo, blocks away from 18th Street. Details are still limited, but this is what we know. This happened around 6:30 last night on Adams Mill Road and Ontario Road. When we arrived at the scene, police were talking to several victims. Police are still actively searching for the children they say had carjacked those folks. We'll be sure to update you as we learn more. Developing now, the D.C. Board of Elections says they're investigating a hack of their website, exposing 600,000 lines of data, including D.C. voter records. Our Daniel Hamburg talked with the cybersecurity expert about what this means for voter privacy.
According to the D.C. Board of Elections, officials learned on Thursday that a hacking group known as Ransom VC claimed to have breached its records, accessing 600,000 lines of U.S. voter data, including D.C. voter records.
It's really surprising, and I would hope that all of this was well protected, and it's not.
The Board of Elections says voter records were accessed through a breach of its website hosting provider, and that no internal databases or servers were compromised.
I think it's just kind of a bummer to hear that the DC local government doesn't have the best security, And it's a shame that these things have to happen for them to now start probably prioritizing and trying to do better.
Some voter registration data, such as voter names, addresses, voting records, and party affiliation, is public information when requested, but
if you have that, you're well down the road of being able to commit financial fraud against consumers.
According to the news outlet Cyberscoop, someone offered to sell the data in an online forum on Tuesday, which included the last 4 digits of voter social security numbers and driver's license numbers. Cybersecurity expert Shane Sims recommends changing your passwords online, including email and social media accounts.
Protect your information, assume that it's out there and people are trying to commit fraud.
Thanks to Daniel Hamburg for that report. In Prince George's County, more homes could be equipped with security cameras. It's a move that one council member says comes after a 13-year-old boy was shot dead while raking the leaves. 13-year-old Jays Agnew was gunned down in his front yard last year. It's a case police say has no known surveillance video related to it. Community members in District 7, which includes Oxon Hill, Capitol Heights, and Suitland, can now apply for a voucher to offset the cost for cameras. The measure was passed in March and is yet to begin, but right now, residents can scan a QR code to apply for a chance to get a security camera, plus some money for surveillance subscription. You can scan that QR code right there. And check this out, a football helmet for quarterbacks who are deaf or hard of hearing. This was created by AT&T and Gallaudet University. The helmet lets a coach call a play on a tablet from the sideline. Then the play shows up on a small display screen inside of the quarterback's helmet. Gallaudet was cleared by the NCAA to use the helmet in its home game today against Hilbert College.